Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss about how do organisms reproduce, the types of reproduction. Reproduction. The production of new offspring from the existing organism of the same species is called reproduction. Reproduction is essential for the survival of the species on this earth. The process of reproduction ensures the continuity of life on earth. Reproduction give rise to more organisms with the same basic characteristic to their parents. So these are the significance of reproduction, why it is necessary. The reproduction is necessary for the survival and increase in the population of species. If organisms do not reproduce, then their population will decrease, will reduce, and species will become extinct. Do organisms create carbon copies of themselves during reproduction? The answer is no. It is because of the DNA molecule. The DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid molecule in the chromosomes in the nucleus, is responsible for the transfer of characters from parents to the offspring. During this transferring, during the reproduction, the reproductive cells produce two copies of DNA, which separates into two different cells. The DNA copies will be similar, but not identical to each other. So the new organisms have slight variation from their parents. This is the basis of variation and evolution of new species. There is an importance of this variation. During the DNA copying in reproduction, it is important for maintaining the body designs of different organisms to survive in the existing environment. But the environment constantly changes due to changes in temperature, climate, water levels, etc. If organisms cannot adjust themselves to the changes in the environment, then their species will become extinct. So this is the importance of variation for their survival and the changes that takes place in environment. If there are variations in some individuals of a species, they may be able to survive the changes in the environment. So, variation in a species is necessary for survival of different species and for evolution of new species. Now let's learn about the types of reproduction. There are two methods of reproduction in living. One is asexual and the one is sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, the production of new offspring from a single parent without the involvement of sex cells or without the involvement of gametes, is called asexual reproduction. Whereas in sexual reproduction, the process of production of new offspring or the new organism is by the fusion of two cells or the two sex cells or the germ cells. So in asexual reproduction, only a single organism is responsible, is involved, whereas in sexual reproduction, two parents are involved. That means two gametes. Fusion of two gametes will take place. In sexual reproduction, fission, that is splitting, will lead to formation of two organisms, whereas in sexual reproduction, fusion of two cells will lead to formation of zygote. So now let's learn about the difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, it's a biparental, which means two parents are involved, whereas asexual is uniparental. Sexual reproduction, fertilization takes place, whereas no fertilization takes place in terms of asexual reproduction. The young one inherits some characters with parent and some with a new one. So variation is observed in sexual reproduction, whereas young ones are the clones of parents in asexual reproduction. Due to variation, it leads to evolution in sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, as the young ones are clones of the parent, so it doesn't lead to any evolution. Example of sexual reproduction is human, and example of asexual reproduction is amoeba. Let's learn about the methods of asexual reproduction. They are of 6 types, that is fission, budding, spore formation, regeneration, fragmentation, and vegetative propagation. Let's start with the fission. It's a process where unicellular organisms split to form 2 or more new organisms, and it is of 2 types, binary fission and multiple fission. Binary fission, as the word indicates, it leads to formation of 2 cells from a single parent cell. So in a binary fission, 2 parent organisms, the parent organism splits to form 2 new organisms. Example is amoeba, paramecium, leishmania, bacteria, etc. When the amoeba cell has reached its maximum size of growth, that is elongation of the cell, it divides. Then the first nucleus divides, that is karyokinesis, splitting of nucleus. That will lead to splitting of cytoplasm, that is cytokinesis. And after cytokinesis, 2 parts after the cytoplasm of parent amoeba divides to form 2 small daughter amoeba. So this is how the fission takes place in amoeba. In amoeba, fission takes place in any plane. But in leishmania, the splitting is specific, that is from longitudinal section. Always in leishmania, the splitting is from the longitudinal section, whereas in transverse in paramecium, the splitting takes place from the transverse plane. So leishmania and paramecium both are the example of fission which take place from a particular orientation. Multiple fission. In multiple fission, the parent organism splits to form many new organisms at the same time, and the example is Plasmodium. Some organisms during unfavorable conditions form a cyst or a protective wall around the cell. Inside the cyst, the nucleus cell will start dividing, will start multiplying, and it will give many daughter nuclei, and then the cytoplasm will start collecting around each of the daughter nuclei, and thin membrane is formed. So many daughter nuclei cells are formed at the end of this process within the cyst. When a favorable condition arrives, the cyst breaks up and daughter cells are released, each forming a new organism. The next type of asexual reproduction is binary fission, is budding. In budding, a small part of body of parent organism grows out as a bud, which then detaches and become a new organism. Examples are hydra, yeast, which produce through budding. In hydra, a small outgrowth is formed on the sides of its body by the repeated mitotic division of itself. This bird then grows gradually by developing mouth and tentacles, and then tiny new hydra detaches itself from the parent body and lives separate organism. The third type of asexual reproduction is spore formation, which is also known as sporulation. In spore formation, the parent plant produces hundreds of microscopic reproductive units, which are called spores, within the spore case, which is known as sporangia. When the spore case bursts, then the spores spread into the air When these airborne spores land on the food or soil under favorable condition, they germinate and produce new plants. For example, most of the fungi such as rhizopus, mucor, bacteria, non-flowering plants, ferns, mosses, they reproduce through this method of sporulation. The common bread mole plant, that is Rhizopus, consists of a thread-like hyphae and a thin stretch having a knob like sporangium, which contain hundreds of spores enclosed in a spore case. When the spore case bursts, then the spores spread into the air. And when these airborne spores land on the food or soil under favorable condition, they germinate and produce same new plant. How will an organism benefit if the organism reproduces through sporulation? The answer is spores are covered by hard protective coat which enables them to survive under unfavorable conditions like lack of food, lack of water, and extreme temperature. But when the conditions are favorable, the spores can grow to produce new plants. So sporulation helps the organism to survive under unfavorable condition. Thus, reproduction by spores benefits the plant because by surviving under adverse condition, the spore makes the plant live forever for a longer duration of time. The next step of asexual reproduction is fragmentation. The breaking up of body of a simple multicellular organism into two or more fragments or maturing, each of which subsequently grows to form a new complete organism, is known as fragmentation. Spirogyra is a green filamentous algae. Spirogyra breaks into two or more fragments on maturing, and each fragment will grow into a new Spirogyra. So this is how organism develops from fragments. Next comes the regeneration. The process of getting back of full organism from its body part is called regeneration. For example, simple animals like Hydra and Planaria shows regeneration. Planaria, which is a platyhelminthes, a flatworm, is found in freshwater ponds. If the body of Planaria somehow gets cut into number of pieces, then each body piece can regenerate into complete Planaria. Why only simple organisms show such kind of regeneration? Why does not the multicellular complex organism show power of regeneration? The answer is because a multicellular complex organism, it has specialized cells that makes up tissues. Tissue makes up organ makes up organ system, and finally organ system makes up organism. They have a high degree of organization in their body, so they cannot reproduce their body through simply regeneration. So they need a special type of reproduction, a special type of cell for reproduction. That's why multicellular complex organism they shows sexual reproduction. Next comes the type of asexual reproduction that is observed in plants, which is known as vegetative propagation, vegetative reproduction. In vegetative propagation, new plants are obtained from parts of older plants like stem, leaves, or roots, without the help of any reproductive organ. Natural method of vegetative propagation includes the green grass that grows in the field after rain from the dry, old stem of grass plant present in the field by the method of vegetative propagation. Another example is Bryophyllum. It's a plant that can reproduce by vegetative propagation by using their leaves. Vegetative propagation usually involves the growth and development of one or more buds present in the older part of the plant to form a new plant. Then comes the artificial method of vegetative propagation. It's a process of growing many plants from older plant by man-made method, and this is known as artificial method of vegetative propagation. They are cutting, layering, grafting. Cutting. A small part of plant which is removed by making a cut with a sharp knife is known as cutting. A cut may be a piece of stem, root or leaves. For example, a plant like rose, sugarcane, cactus are grown by cutting. It is necessary that there are some buds on the cutted part of the plant. Then comes the layering. In this method, a branch of plant is pulled towards the ground and a part of it is covered with moist soil, leaving the tip of branch exposed above the ground. After some time, new roots develop and then it cut off from parent plant and grows as new plant. For example, in jasmine, strawberry, hibiscus and guava. The third type of artificial method of vegetative propagation is grafting. It is a method in which the cut stem of two different plants, one with a root and another without root, are joined together in such a way that two stems join and grows as a single plant. This new plant has a characteristic of both the plants. The cut stem of plant having root is known as stalk, and the cut stem with plant is known as with a stem is known as scion. Examples are apple, peach, apricot, pear, etc. Now let's learn about the advantage of vegetative propagation. The new plant produced by artificial vegetative propagation will be exactly like parent plant. The fruits trees grow from cutting or grafting start to bear fruits much earlier. Many plants can grow from just one parent plant. We can also get seedless plant using artificial method of vegetative propagation. The last one is tissue culture, which is also known as micropropagation. The production of new plants from a small piece of plant or tissue removed from a growing tip of a plant in a suitable growth medium is called tissue culture. The procedure of tissue culture is the tissue is placed on a culture medium which contain nutrient and plant hormones, which make the cells in the plant tissues to divide rapidly to form callus. This callus is transferred to another medium containing plant hormone which stimulates the callus to develop root. Then it is placed on another medium containing another plant hormone which stimulates the growth of stem. The plantlets are then transplanted into soil where they can grow to a mature plant. This technique is used to the production of ornamental plants like orchids, carnation flowers, etc. The advantage of tissue culture or the micropropagations are it is very fast technique. New plant produced by tissue culture are disease free. Very little space is needed, and by this method plants can grow around the year irrespective of weather or season. Thanks for watching.